You have a small cold. All right, so I'm gonna get started. Again, this is recorded, so this will be sent out to the entire group. But this is the first of what we're going to be doing monthly from a virtual webinar standpoint, just to, again, relay information on what's coming down the pike when it comes to Belvoir chapter as a whole, as well as EL specific events. Make sure people understand, the upcoming activities that are occurring. But what I'm to start here is, AFCEA overall, there's people who've been here a while and actually don't really have a full understanding of AFCEA as a whole, how the regions play a part, some of the hierarchy of leadership, and then what an emerging leader even is. So I think that's the best way to get started with this new season, to clear the air, make sure everyone kind of on the same page, what the benefits of that would be to you as an individual. And some people don't even know all the things that you can get from it. And then, again, go through those volunteer opportunities, upcoming events, and then a Q&A at the end if there is anything. So that being said, so AFCEA as a whole, an overview. AFCEA, for folks who don't know, it stands for the Armed Forces Communication Electronic Association. It's a professional association, and it's intended to connect people, ideas, and solutions globally. Really, it's trying to get the government, academia, and industry all together under the same space to talk through things that benefit each of those individual sections and promote wellness of the country overall when it comes to STEM-related education events. It has an international presence, so it's all over the globe. And there's regions, which are known as chapters, that have defined area of presence. So obviously, as the name implies, Belvoir's region is focused on the Belvoir tenets and activity that includes HQDA, PEO Enterprise, and a couple other PEOs, DIA. So tenets within Belvoir itself, that's our first right of refusal, let's say, for things that come up when it comes to events, speakers, engagements, things they're planning. That being said, just because you're a Belvoir EL doesn't mean you can't get involved with other chapters. A lot of folks in this area support multiple customers within the DMV or even, within the country or global. So once you're an AFCEA member, you're an AFCEA member as long as you maintain your membership. So that what that means is, while we have the first right of refusal for this particular area, being a Belvoir doesn't exclude you from going to these other events and being involved in other areas. It just also gives you this opportunity to say you have affiliation, but you can still, participate in those things as necessary for your company. We just got a new president. So for everyone's awareness, Brendan Burke is now our chapter president. So there's going to be a cadre of new leadership and some possible changes that just may be occurring. There's some transparent to the board, and others will be more apparent in terms of some new things that he wants to do. So more to come in that regard. But he is getting his feet wet and taking over. So it's going to be a big change, because Jim has been the president for the past 7 years. So it is a big difference for this season. And then some of the things that, AFCEA does overall, a lot of folks on this call, some folks who don't know, networking events, again, getting those connections together, conferences and industry days. So a lot when new objectives come out, or new major IDIQs, for example, had to be released, and there has to be a forum to talk about it, get industry input. From if it's Belvoir, we usually get the first right to put that conference or industry day together. In other areas, they get that first right of refusal, and then we're also facilitating, making sure that we can share that kind of information to also connect government and military and industry all together. Goes with our speaker engagements, with the Belvoir specific luncheons that we have, and then the luncheons that occur on all the other chapters with the promoted speakers, webinars, and career builders. So just like this, it's a little webinar about what AFCEA is and what emerging leaders overall, but we have things all over regarding, small business topics, other kind of thought leadership kind of things. And then with career builders, it's just ways to enhance your professional development and things to make sure you have an edge within the industry that we all share. And finally, scholarships. That's one of the big things that Belvoir prides itself on most, because we give some of the most money of all chapters internationally. Last season, we submitted over 6 figures in scholarship money to worthy individuals. So that is one of the key delimitors that makes Belvoir chapter a little bit different from everyone else, that all that money is being funneled as this nonprofit into those scholarships. So there's the chapter as a whole. There's the board and members that represent that chapter. What does it mean to actually be an emerging leader? So Emerging leaders are motivated individuals 40 and under who are involved with their local chapter, and they foster their own personal growth, professional development, and they're building their own network of like-minded individuals that's going to follow them throughout their career. So with our Belvoir structure and how we're doing things going forward is we have a emerging leader core of people who are ready to be engaged for volunteer opportunities, a special type of events that we put together where we need a few helping hands. But we also have our succession plan when it comes to the emerging leaders board. So that board with lots of members that we have now to fill as a one-to-one counterpart to our main chapter board. It creates a presence within the emerging leaders across all the other areas that Belvoir partakes in. And it also, again, creates that succession plan because we are the future of the chapter. No matter what emerging leader chapter you belong to, you are the one who are going to be in those leadership positions and, kind of taking part when your time comes. So it gives you the opportunity to be in the room and see how things are being done in a safer environment, safer space, less responsibility, so that you can take on more responsibility when your name and number is called, if you so choose, of course. With the Emerging Leader Program, it's also designed to help you achieve your goals with the back end of sharing community of peers, giving you the opportunities you otherwise wouldn't have, putting you in rooms you otherwise wouldn't be in, and providing a future for every chapter as you transition to those senior roles. Ultimately, you give what you get. And if you want to be involved, there's plenty of opportunities to get involved, especially with Belvoir this year and going forward. It is also okay to just be a member and occasionally be involved. If you only come to certain luncheons, if you can only, be following the email traffic and see what's going on because you have a very, very busy, chaotic job and it ebbs and flows depending on what you do, it's also perfectly fine. It's a volunteer nonprofit, and everyone has a day job. Everyone has other responsibilities, but it's intended to give you the opportunity to be more involved as you are able to, and promote you and benefit you for the different levels of involvement that you can give. So, talking about costs and benefits overall, what you give. The number one thing is time. It's a coalition of the willing. None of this gets done without motivated individuals that want to kind of put things together and be in a position to kind of take their careers to the next level. So, and that is the most precious thing that we all have. So it's not lost on anybody when you give your time to an organization, and we want to make sure we maximize and make sure your time is used in a value add sense, so no one's wasting it. Membership dues. So just a reminder to everybody, from a Belvoir standpoint, when you sign up for international, there is a section for affiliation. You want to make sure you select Belvoir as your affiliation and you put in your birth year so that it shows up as a Belvoir member. And then we also show you as a 40 and under candidate for the Emerging Leader Program. So if you haven't done that, the birth year is a new feature. Please go ahead and do that. Some folks who are under a corporate sponsorship and they're given a membership, even if your corporate is under a different chapter, you can change yours individually to Belvoir as well. So at your earliest opportunity, go in and square that away so that we are able to show those numbers within our ranks. You give your input and thought leadership. We have a board, we have a design of how we're going to run this season, but we're always open to new ideas. You give what you get. And if there's connections or something that you're able to provide that we can't, and vice versa, that's what this network is built to do. It's built to benefit each other, and we all grow and promote and advance together. Finally, it is a nonprofit, and there is a sense of volunteerism that comes with this. So giving back to your community. One of the areas that we do at Belvoir is also working with activities and partnering with events so that we do things for Belvoir tenants as a whole, whether it's doing things for soldiers or doing things with our subchapter with the Northern Virginia Community College and just getting those folks engaged and up to speed. There is that sense of volunteerism. So outside of what we're doing for our companies and our day to day, we had those opportunities to also be able to provide, and so what you get out of that, obviously building out your network, opportunities, engagement, not only with each other in industry, but building out a network of people within the government ranks, senior leadership, military, etc. Very few opportunities outside of this to be able to do that organically. You get event discounts as an AFCEA member overall, Signal Magazine, professional development. A lot of people don't know that you can get discount on courses, training, certificate vouchers, etc., between 15-20% off and sometimes more. So if you're someone who needs to maintain CPEs or go out to certain training or do stuff, that's something that's available in the international portal that you can take advantage of, and definitely reach out if you need more information. Scholarships, whether you're going in for a bachelor's, master's, doctorate, there's a number of different scholarships that one international can provide for worthy individuals, but also Belvoir gives out, again, last year we gave out 6 figures in overall scholarships. So between the Kevin Carroll and the STEAM scholarship, that's something that you could also take advantage of. There's a career center. So if you're looking to upskill, reskill, change jobs, there's an area where you can talk to a smaller pool of individual and candidates. So you'd be able to kind of move into a new position faster. And then recognition and awards. All this stuff's not for naught. If you're actively engaged, staying busy, there is a process to be able to recognize your efforts and give you some kind of association with recognition from an international standpoint at one of the engagements, whether it's AFCEA West Conference or the TechNet Baltimore Conference. So all that also plays a part in terms of your development and stuff that you could just add to your resume and just make you more marketable overall. So upcoming events that we have. We have the Small Business Virtual Happy Hour. That's coming on October 15th. So if you're interested, reach out to me. That list grows bigger and bigger. Alex runs it as the VP of small business. So she always has a great topic, great speakers that come in. It's a really, really fun time. We have the fall golf and networking event. So that's on the 21st. It's open now for sponsors and golfers. So if you're interested, again, reach out. It's also on LinkedIn. There's a number of different types of sponsorships if your company's willing to sponsor, but if you wanted to come as just an individual golfer, put together your own foursome, those options are now open and available to register to. So go ahead and do that. We have our luncheon coming in for our first luncheon of the season on the 23rd. The speaker and all the details will be provided once it's all finalized on LinkedIn and on the mailer. And then finally, we have our first Emerging Leaders Networking event, which is going to be around the mid to end of October. More details to follow. But if you're interested in volunteering for either the golf tournament or volunteering for the Emerging Leaders event, if necessary, please reach out. We definitely could use some extra hands as necessary. So, yeah, definitely something we can talk about. So, contact info, how to reach out. So you can reach out to me, who's the, again, VP of SEA Belvoir and the president of the Emerging Leaders at my email address, or reach out to Kevin, who's my EVP and my direct ops lead for the Emerging Leaders board. We could also find us on LinkedIn. So if you look up AFCEA Belvoir Emerging Leaders, we do have a dedicated LinkedIn page now, which you can engage with, talk to us. We're all involved. And we also have the AFCEA Belvoir main LinkedIn page. So using either one of those, and my suggestion is to follow both, that will be able to directly reach any one of us and answer any questions that you may have. So very quick and easy with all the events coming up and kind of what we're doing overall for this season. Just to end, the Belvoir Emerging Leaders are going to be much more present than we were last year in terms of just engagement. So you may have saw we did a lot of different networking events. We had a government roundtable. We had a crate panel at ABIT last year. We're just going to ramp it up all this year. We have the personnel, we have the motivation, we have the guidance now to be able to take it to the next level. So we're looking at possibly getting something going on a monthly basis when it comes to networking events, doing more with our NVCC chapter, but really being more involved and being more present. So you're going to get tired of seeing us on LinkedIn all the time. But if you want to be part of that journey, you want to be part of that process, please feel free to reach out. Again, you don't have to be part of the board. You don't have to be, all you need to do is have a membership and be affiliated to Belvoir, and we're happy to take you and get you involved in whatever capacity you're able to get involved with. So with that being said, I will open up the floor. Any questions from anybody?